At the Parkinson household, there was never a really dull moment. I mean, the Parkinsons, my mother and father, they just go, go, go. They never stop and wait around for things to happen. They're doers.
It was always that my parents were very involved in the community and, cared about the city, cared about its economic development, cared about the less fortunate people in it, especially in the case of my mother.
Well, my relationship with Scott and Pam starts with community involvement.
Everywhere you go, there they are. Oftentimes when you're at any function, of course Scott would be there, probably fully involved.
I've been with Catholic Community Services for the past 6 years, and Pam and Scott have been right there with me from the beginning. They do so much for us and for our community.
I'm from Ogden, but Scott and Pam are Ogden.
He and Pam were always partners, and I really admired that about him and Pam and their relationship.
You brought out each other's strengths. Like when I'd see you working together, and Mom, you'd be doing one thing, and then Dad would be supporting you in a role that I didn't really think Dad knew how to do what he was doing.
Even after all the years they've been married, they have romance in the simplest things.
I've always admired Scott's ability to get to know people and remember their names and know something about them and listen to them and then meet their needs.
No matter where you go, you would find Scott, representing Bank of Utah, but in the thick of it.
One of the bright spots in northern Utah, and especially in Ogden City, is 25th Street. And I never walk down or drive down 25th Street without thinking of Scott Parkinson.
I would often catch a bus in the Terrace and come downtown with my friend, and we'd go to the Ogden City Mall, which of course had Scott's fingerprints on it in a lot of ways.
He seems to just make things work and be better, so he's kind of an ambassador. But my friend described him as a doormat because he's opened a door and bettered the place and opened another door, etc., etc. So I think that really describes Scott.
He works a lot, but still, with all of that happening, I felt 100% devotion.
Scott came to the bank almost 20 years ago, and he was a breath of fresh air for a bunch of us stodgy bankers.
I've seen many times Scott load up his car with all sorts of stuff to be brought to the food bank, whether it's backpacks or produce. So, they're both just so committed and so willing to do whatever it takes to get it done.
I think Pam doesn't like the limelight. I mean, in fact, this is probably hard on Pam, stand up in front of the group. I mean, that is not her deal. But she's the worker bee. Boy, I'll tell you what, when she bites into anything that she commits to, it's just a total commitment.
I don't remember exactly where along the line I met Pam. I'm sure it was at a chamber event or some other event in the community. And actually, probably Pam called me and asked me to sponsor something before I even met her at the event.
She was always working the phones, right? She was always working the phones for whatever she was trying to get the business people around the community to donate money for.
Steve Jobs always said that you should go out and make a dent in the universe, and I think that my mother especially has made a dent in this city, and I'm proud of her for that.
She just sparkles. She has these dense, amazing eyes, and when she asks you for something, it's really hard to say no. And not only will you do it, but if you do it with her, you'll enjoy doing it.
I could never say no to Pam. She always got the right things, because she was always the right things for the right reason.
Both Scott and Pam are the kind of people you want to be around all the time. It's their positive can-do attitude, it's their outlook on life, and you like to be around people like that.
There's so much energy in those guys. You get up in the morning and they go, let's go for a hike. Anybody else says, let's go for a walk. Not these guys. Let's go to the top of the mountain and back and see what's on the other side.
Years ago, when Scott was president of the Breakfast Exchange Club, we had a fundraiser one night that attracted a little bit of unnecessary attention, but I know he was interviewed by the Standard Examiner the next day, and his famous quote was, "What party?" I think Scott is very selective.
He's either very selective or he sleeps through the good parts in the movies. I'm just not sure which that is. And I tell that story to make up for the story he told about me last year.
One time we were having a brochure done for the chamber, and we were using an agency, and we went to talk to them about what we wanted to see in the brochure. So they were talking to us about colors. And so I said, well, our PMS colors are, and Scott looked at me like, PMS? Barbara, are you sure that's the right thing to say? And he just kept apologizing for me.
It's nice that the chamber included Scott in Pam's recognition. Seriously, just congratulations. There is no more deserving couple in the community than Scott and Pam.
When I heard that they got the award, it was like, oh, perfect.
Thank you for the generosity, the kindness, the compassion that you have given to our community, and most of all, thank you for the love that you have shared.
My community, our community, is a better place because of Scott and Pam. So thank you.
Thank you for, making this city the city that it is and one I'm proud to be from. I love you.
I was always proud of what great examples you were. How we've spoken a lot here about how you kind of walk the talk.
You're an inspiration to me, and you always will be. And I'm so proud of you. I love you.
I think of the quotation of the Dalai Lama when I think of religion. And this is what he said: "My religion is kindness." That, I think, is Pam and Scott Parkinson's religion as well.